Hello everyone, we will be doing the chapter permutation and combination today. So this is a quite interesting chapter and you would have come across various such problems like finding how many such numbers can be formed, in how many ways you can do such a thing, you are given a property, how many numbers satisfy that property, and questions like this. All these questions are covered under these topics, that is permutation and combination. Basically, if I say how many numbers can you form using the digits 0 to 9, 3-digit numbers using 0 to 9. So like these, they are the problems that you encounter very much in the day-to-day life. So we will begin with some of the concepts. So first of all, I will explain you what is known as factorial. It is basically a notation. So if we say n factorial, this is the denotation, exclamation mark is the symbol for factorial, or you write it like this. These are the two notations for factorial. And what does basically factorial mean is, this is the multiplication of all natural numbers up to n. That is, n factorial is equal to 1 into 2 into 3, and this continues till n minus 1 into n. That is, the multiplication of first n natural numbers is denoted by n factorial. So this is the basic definition for what is factorial, and these two are the notations. That is, if I say what is 2 factorial, 2 factorial means 1 into 2, that is 2. 3 factorial, if I say it is 1 into 2 into 3, that is 6. Similarly, 4 factorial, it is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4, that is 24. So this is how we generally find factorials. That is, it is the multiplication of all the first n natural numbers. Okay. So this is basically what is known as factorial. So there are basically two basic fundamental laws in counting. They are known as the addition law of counting and the multiplication law of counting. So if I say, I will explain one by one both of these. We will begin with addition law. What does addition law states? Addition law says that if you have, say, 5 ways to do one thing and 3 ways to do another thing, if I say you have to do at least one of these, you have to do either of these, either first or second. It says you have 8 ways to do it. That is, 5 ways to do first part, either you choose to do first or you choose to do second. If you choose to do first, you have 5 cases, and if you choose to do the second thing, you have 3 cases. That is, if you have to do any of the two, you have 8 possibilities. That is 5 plus 3. So addition law says that if a task A can be done in m ways and another task B can be done in n ways, then either A or B can be done m plus n ways. This is a basic fundamental law of addition. Basically, if, for example, if I say there is a city, this is the, say the city Delhi. Obviously, it has 4 directions. Say this is north, this is south, this is east, this is west. Okay, let us suppose this is the city Delhi and it has 4 directions, that is north, south, west and east. if I say you can enter this city, Delhi, in say 10 ways. There are 10 ways to enter from north. That is, let us plot these 10 entrances. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let us say 10. These are the 10 entrances, say, of entering. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if I say there are 6 ways to enter from west. That is, let us suppose these are the 6 entrances from the west. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I ask you how many ways are there to enter the city Delhi, you can either enter from any of these 10 gates or any of these 6 gates. So what does it say? So finally, how many ways can you enter this city? That is 10 plus 6. That is 16. This is exactly what the addition principle, the addition law says. That is, if you have to choose either of this or this, then the total number of cases are the cases of this case plus the cases of this case. So this is the basically known as fundamental principle of addition. Here you have to just remember the condition that it is either A or B. You can't choose both of them. Okay? You can't enter from 2 as well as the 2 from the west as well as 7 from the east or 7 from the north. You have to just remember that this is either A or B. You have to choose any one of them. Either you can choose from north or either you can choose from west. Not both of them. Because you are only one person. You can enter from one side only. Okay? So now we will be doing the multiplication law. So the second law is multiplication law says that if you have a task A, let us suppose, and you can do it in m ways, and there is another task, say B, which you can do in n cases, n ways. So what does the multiplication law says that if you have to do A as well as B, then you have m into n possibility, m into n ways in which you can do. I will tell you what exactly it means by showing you an example. Let me first state it. If a task A can be done in m ways and a task B can be done in n ways, then A and B can be done in m into n ways. This would be clear to you in one moment. If I take the same example, this was the city Delhi, and this was north direction, this was south direction, this is east direction, this is west direction. Let us have the same, that is 10 gates, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 6 gates on the west side. Okay. So if I ask you how many ways are there to enter the city from the north or say any direction? How many ways are there to enter the city Delhi and to exit it? So, if I ask you, the question is, in how many ways you can enter and exit the city Delhi? This is the question. What does it mean? First of all, it is specified that you have to enter from, say, North Gate. Enter and exit the city Delhi. There is addition. Entering from the north and exiting from the west. This is the question. So basically it says that you have to enter from the north and exit from the west. In how many ways you can do it? So if I just, let us suppose we enumerate it. We don't have any procedure to do it. How would you do it? Let us suppose we came from gate number 1. Okay? So we entered from gate number 1. Once we have entered Delhi, we know we have to exit from this west direction. So west direction has 6 possibilities. So if you started enumerating, you would say I would enter from 1. This is the entering point, this is the exit point. I started from 1, I entered from 1, I exit from the red one. That is, the red ones are from the west and this is the north and this is the west. I entered from the north gate number 1 and exited at the west gate number 1. Other possibility could be I entered from first gate from the north and exited from second from the west. The entry point is fixed, that is, you are fixing the gate from which you entered and you are changing the gate from which you are exiting. So if you start just enumerating it, you will get 6 cases corresponding to all the 6 gates on the west side. That is, you are fixing just the first gate from which you are entering and you have, for each gate, you have 6 possibilities. That is, similarly if you chose say second gate to enter. Similarly for all of them you would have exit point say from 1. Similarly if you entered from 2 you would exit from so let us suppose you entered from second gate. If you entered from here, you can exit from first gate on the western side or the second gate from the western side or the third gate from the western side, fourth gate from the western side, fifth gate from the western side, sixth gate from the western side. That is, for each and every entering gate, you have 6 corresponding exit gates. And how many entering gates do you have? That is 10. So, if I say this would be 6 for 1 plus 6 for entering gate number 2. Similarly, 6 for third, 6 for fourth, and this would be 10 times. So, what does it give? 6 into 10. That is the number of ways in which you could have done the task A, that was entering from north direction, and this is in how many ways you can do the second task, that is exiting from the west direction. So it is basically following the multiplication principle. What does it say? If you can do one task in say m cases, m ways, if you can do another task in say n ways, if you have to do both of them, you can do it in m into n ways. This is what is known as the multiplication principle. So I will do one more example on this multiplication principle and it would be clear to you what basically it says. You must be basically clear with the fact that when to apply the addition principle and when to apply the multiplication principle. Addition principle is when you have to choose in either of the two tasks. That is, either you do A task or you do the B task. And the multiplication principle is used when you have to choose from A as well as B. You have to choose both of them. Then you use the multiplication principle. So I will do one more example for multiplication principle. Let us suppose you have a city A. There will be another city, say B. And there is a third city, say C. If I say there are 3 ways to go from A to B. Okay? And if I say from B to C, I have 4 ways. And let us suppose we have another city, say D. If I say from C to D, I have just 2 ways to go. So from A to D, we had 3 ways, that is, say A1, A2, A3. From B to C, we had, say B1, B2, B3, B4. From C to D, we had C1, C2. Okay? We have to find in how many ways you can reach from A to D. That is, how many different paths are possible from A to D. Let us suppose we would start from this. We chose the first path, say A1. We chose A1. Then we say we chose B1. Now, how many possible? By choosing A1 and B1, you had reached the point C. At C, how many choices do you have? You could have either gone from C1 or from C2. So if I start enumerating the, say, paths, I would say this is the one path. The second would be if I chose A1, if I chose B1, and then I chose C2. Similarly, I could have not chosen B1, I would have chosen B2. Similarly, the third case would be A1, then B2, then by following B2 you have reached the city C. Again you have 2 possibilities. You could have chosen either C1 or C2 to reach D. So one possibility will be A1, B2 into C1. And the fourth would be you chose A1, you chose B2, then you chose C2. So as you can see, for all these cases, if I fix A1 and I fix a node from this second path, that is, if A to B is fixed and B to C it is also fixed, you have 2 possibilities. Because by fixing A to B and B to C, you have reached from A to C. You are at, by fixing these 2, you have reached C. So at that point you have 2 choices. Either the next path would contain C1 or C2. So you have 2 possibilities. Okay? But in how many ways, if I say, in how many ways you can fix B to C? That are 4. For each 4 of them, you have 2 of these possibilities. So if I say, if A to B is only fixed, this is fixed, then I have 4 ways to reach C, first from D. And for all these, you have 2 ways to reach D. So the total, by applying the multiplication principle, what we will get is, there are 4 ways to do this task and there are 2 ways to do this task. So if you have to do this whole task, that is from B to D, what would be it? You have to take one path from this side and one from this side. So it satisfies that you have to take one from each of the 2 tasks. So the total possibilities will be 4 into 2. This is from if you have fixed A to B. That is, you have reached B, then you have 8 possibilities. But to reach B, so this could be basically at this point, you have solved this problem, you have converted this into something like this. You have A, you have 3 paths to B, and from B to D, you have 8 paths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have changed this problem to something like this. Okay? So again here you will apply the multiplication principle. That would say, if you can do this, choose one path from A to B in 3 ways, and you can choose from B to D in 8 ways. So from A to D, there would be either you, by using principle, multiplication principle, you will get 3 into 8. So basically what would it give the solution as? It would be 3 into 4 into 2. That is equals to 24. So this is what basically multiplication principle says. If there are, say, n such roots and you have individual possibilities for all of them, and you have to choose a path from the first vertex to the last vertex, that is, you have to choose one path from each and every these possibilities, the final answer would be the multiplication of the total number of ways to reaching from A to B, multiplied with the total ways from reaching B to C, from multiplied to total ways of reaching C to D. So this is basically the multiplication principle. So in this lecture we just understood what is the basic meaning of a factorial and what are the basic two principles of counting, that is the addition principle and the multiplication principle. Using this you can solve some basic problems of counting, and the next we will consider permutation and combination, exactly the formulas and some other concepts in the next lecture. Thank you.